God, I gotta get a charger for this stupid.
JR!
His phone about to his tab about to cut off. But we live. We live, man. Go ahead, Wayne. You hype. You the hypest. Bring us home. Bring us in, I mean.
Welcome back to another episode of the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, iTunes, and the Twitter. But Sixers with a big win tonight. Another big win. We've actually had. Okay, thank you for that, Tim. We've actually had quite a nice run now. You know, the Sixers are now sitting at 6-2. They just beat the team that was deemed as one of the top two, if not the top team in the East, coming in Chicago. They jumped out to early lead on. They played without their number 2 player, in Tobias Harris. Sixers jumped out early.
The number
Chicago
2
made a run.
Go ahead.
Number 2 player still Tobias. They got out early. Chicago made a run back, and you know what I'm saying, and this is where we at with it. Sixers pulled off the win. There's still some concerns in my opinion. Real quick, we still need a point guard, because that's the reason why Chicago got back in this. They started pressing the ball, pressing the point guard, and they started punching everything coming in the middle. Their defense stepped up, and we didn't have anybody to settle everybody down. Neither Maxey nor Shake was able to settle everybody down. And it wasn't until we brought the starters back in that we maintained control. But we did what we needed to do, and we came away with the win. Now maybe everybody can stop being scared and nervous ever since the Knicks game, talking about how trash we was. And maybe we can just wait and see till the first 10 games are up and see where we at.
Hold on, go ahead, because I gotta plug my computer.
Oh, he laughing at me. That computer about to die, huh? All right. I mean, as far as I saw the game, all right. I know I'm all over the place with this team. I'm gonna be honest. I'm all over the place with this team. I'm all over the place with the players. The Bull Curry last year, I came out on record and I was saying how much of a great addition he was to the team. And, you know, I was saying that in spurts, he can create his own shot and all this. And some people on here disagree with me, say he can't create his own shot. It was somebody in the Sixers hat with the Eagles logo in the background. But that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is, at a certain point, I actually agree with him, because Seth started looking like he was getting strapped a little too easily for me. But this year, this Seth we talking about, he on another level. Like he's even playing better than post or pre-COVID Seth. He playing better than that Seth. He's stepping up. I don't even think he so far he's had 4 20-point games. He had, I think, 11 all year last year. Yep. And he's already dropped 4 20-point games. I'm impressed with how the boy looking, man. He picked up some stuff from Steph. Steph probably had him over in the summertime for a couple cookouts, showed him a couple moves or two, said, look, little bro, step your game up. It's time to stop playing with our name. And he doing that. I'm enjoying this.
Listen, man, I know we love Steph because he hit the big basket, but hats off to Niang.
Yeah,
hats off to Niang, George Niang. You talking about a great offseason acquisition that the Sixers made, him and Drummond. But Niang was huge. I think this is the best game so far as a Sixer. I mean, if I'm wrong, correct me. We just think about
what he had tonight, because he had 20 on. He had 20 last game, 20, 21.
Okay, 18. Then you're right. He had 18, 3. But listen, we not can be. We not can be. But he did have 7 assists and 9 rebounds. Is Embiid in some type of slump? Probably. He actually
slump.
What you say?
He in that Dame Dollar type slump.
He is. He actually was 5 for 9 at the free throw line too, which ain't like Embiid either.
Yeah. Something wrong with him.
With us missing Danny Green and Toby, this was a huge win. But Danny Green, man, I like Danny, but we have to make some adjustments with the starting lineup, man, with Danny Green. I don't know if Danny Green should be a starter on this team, man, to be honest with you. But that's something we'll talk about later. But this was a huge win against a solid team, against a real good team, the Bulls. Nice up-and-coming team. Like Wayne said before, they still learn each other. So, but this was a huge, huge win for us.
Well, I enjoyed that game very, very much. Going into the game, I said, y'all, on the message board, I was like, listen, I think the key to this game is going to be the matchup between Zach LaVine and Matisse Thybulle. and Matisse held his own. I think he held his own. Also, I said that
B had 5 turnovers.
Say it again.
No, somebody said B had 5 turnovers. I was reading in the chat.
B is a turnover machine, but that's neither here nor
there. Tell us what your prediction for Embiid was tonight, Tim. Tell us that.
I ain't finished. I forgot that Vucevic was on that team because he's the Embiid stopper. Because for some reason, Embiid can't stick him too well. But
he ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing. He had like 4 points.
Every time Embiid tries to go down low on a ball, he couldn't. And Embiid kept all of a sudden he wanted to shoot 3-pointers again. I don't want to beat up on him because it's just one game, but I am a little concerned about him. He looked like we really need to find out how old he is. He may be 47 right now. We just don't know.
You're a funny cat.
Because the way he's been playing like he's like aged overnight.
Yeah, I mean, I had to agree with you. He's taking some bad shots. And somebody said in the comment, I think it was email, he took some bad shots tonight. I mean, like you said, he's still been he actually been jacking the same amount of threes that he was when Ben was here. So that's not you can't use Ben to get out the lane as an excuse no more for why you're jacking threes, because you're still jacking threes. So why he missing I'm more surprised at him missing the little mid-range shot more than he has been throughout the years. And like Ethan said, the free throw 5 for 9 beat is an 80-something+% free throw shooter. Yeah. And all of a sudden the free throws is clanking. So I think I'm leaning more toward a slump than anything with him, maybe out of shape, maybe the knee. It's a couple possible different scenarios. But this is exactly why, though, you have to get other dudes that can score when your star can't score. This is why Niang is important. This is why even Maxey, the way he's trying to step up his offensive game. Seth obviously stepping up, doing his thing. Your role players, Korkmaz and Thibault and all them. This is why them dudes. Your star ain't, for the most part, unless you top 3, 4, maybe 5 players in the game. For the most part, you're going to need a little bit of extra help from your team to pull out consistent wins and tight wins. I mean, Zach LaVine, especially DeRozan, was in his bag all night. I thought we was going to lose, and I told you earlier because I thought that we was going to get too much Zach and DeRozan. I thought it was going to be too much for him, and then compared with, complimented by Ball. But we pulled that joint out. I'm thoroughly impressed.
First of all, I want to address something since everybody see this what we do.
Thanks Herb for the shout out too. He said nice. Thank you, Herb.
This what we do when a game happens. Seth's better than Toby. For the season coming in, Toby averages 19 points, 9 rebounds, and what's that? 3 assists and 4.2 assists.
What's field goal percentage?
Field goal percentage. Tobias' field goal percentage is .585, and Seth field goal percentage is .740. No, wait, that's efficiency. The 2-point, Seth is shooting .676 and Tobias .623.
I'm talking about timeliness. When it comes to timeliness,
but all I'm saying is, listen. I'm not ripping Seth. I love the way Seth is playing. Seth is playing how. See that, and here we go. Was he clutching in the other games? He was clutch this game.
He was.
But hold on. And everybody's not clutching every game.
But that's what I get. Okay, but y'all the same one saying we need a closer. Now all of a sudden Seth had a good game, and Seth is the closer.
Listen. Take it back to the Portland game when we were struggling towards the end. Seth was clutching in the beginning, and he closed it out in the fourth quarter for us. He did the exact same.
I'm fine with giving Seth props. But this what y'all do. This is what Sixers fans do. Like it's like one game, all of a sudden we the greatest. We got this, we got that. We still need a closer. Like and give him props. Yeah. He hit that shot, but he didn't take somebody off the dribble and get that shot. When they gave him the ball. When he tried to take it off the dribble, when he tried to take it off the dribble, he got stopped up and he gave the ball up. And when he got it back, it was like .something seconds to shoot, and he put the shot up and hit it, which was a clutch shot. But let's not make it like Seth was out there cracking balls off the dribble.
It was a clutch shot, but Wayne, I want you to
you cracked the couple balls a little bit though.
No, but remember, Ephraim. We said it before the playoff. We both said that Seth was going to step up and have a big thing, and that we could win if he did that.
Wayne, you need to stop frauding.
What am I fraud about now?
You talking about everybody relax, calm down. You are so hyped about this win. Be happy. Be happy about the win. Stop acting like you're not
when
happy.
we lost to the Nets, we like 5th and 6th seed, and we just beat the best team in the East, and you were sitting there panicking when we lost to the Knicks, and I told you that relax, let it play out.
Wait a minute.
And
All I'm saying is,
a good squad.
Be happy about the win, and stop acting like you're not happy about this win.
I'm not how I came on and said it was a big win, and that we ball.
Still need this. We said, listen, enjoy this win.
We do because that's what we do. That's what we do. Don't we analyze and see where we still need help?
Brandon Stokes says, he said Wayne is always getting emotional and over analyzing comments. We're just excited about having a second option who gets his own shot. Seth is doing things that Tobias just don't do consistently.
Exactly. That was a
facts.
good comment.
He said facts at the end of his statement.
So I'm not saying facts. I'm just saying he said facts. And then everybody talking about Seth got it. Seth that ain't Steph. He ain't. That's what I'm just saying. He balled tonight, and he balled the last night, and he's balling this season. But what I'm saying is the same thing I was saying earlier in the season. When we play and we win, let's take it for what it is. Everybody want to be super high on one note, then super low. Bulls going to call B garbage this game, but then another game, B going to have 30, and it's going to be he don't got enough help or something like that. Like, let's
Did B have 30 this year yet?
He hasn't been playing well.
Did B have 30?
No, he hasn't had 30. No. But tell me.
He had 31 games. He had 31 game against I think Detroit or something. He had 30.
But tell me when Embiid came back into the game, it didn't change the when Chicago was making that run back because they was disrupting our guards. They was getting steals. They was punching their shots when they came in the middle. Yeah, and then when Seth and them came back in, they regained the game. And Embiid regained the middle of the court.
Right. You'll have that though. You'll have runs in basketball. Teams that make runs. They'll get on that defensive stop. But listen, man, to have this team win, right? The way they did with B, we remember we're still winning games with B struggling.
That's right.
That says a lot about this team. Remember, first came on I think our first couple wins, I was like, I really like this team, man. And I told y'all this team will be. I don't want to say his name. This team will be better without the other guy here. And this team is playing
don't disrespect the
so
man like that.
much better, man.
Now let me ask this though.
And listen, and I want to say something about this. Sometimes teams play a lot better because they actually enjoy playing with each other. They enjoy swinging the ball to each other, and they actually enjoy watching the other teammate get off.
So let me ask you this: with the other guy, we was the number one seed.
You being greedy.
You ain't got nothing important to say. What you gonna say?
Much anyway.
What you gonna say?
The boy Maxey, he did a good job on Lonzo Ball today. I will say that much. Now,
thank you. I want to address that. Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
Lonzo Ball, don't get me wrong. His jump shot looks better, but it's still broke.
He actually did a great job anytime he stuck Zach LaVine as well, because he was on Zach LaVine several times coming down the stretch. And he was strapped on LaVine. And we had this conversation earlier just to fill y'all in on podcast land. We had this conversation earlier when I was arguing with Timmy, as he's affectionately called by the fans.
No,
I told Timmy that the Bull Maxey defense, in my opinion, it's just as good as the other guys. It's just as good as the other guys.
Tell Wayne too.
And I firmly believe that. Maxey is athletic. He quick, and he was on Zach LaVine like right down the stretch. Zach LaVine ain't scored no buckets like in under 7 minutes.
Can somebody slap some color into Ephraim's face, please? Because there's no way in the world he's better defender than Ben Simmons.
What has Ben done?
Impossible.
What has Ben done?
It's not realistic.
What has the other guy done?
All right. Well, since the other guy's not here, and we said we wasn't worried about that part of it, but this what cracks me up. All I know is when we watching the game, Sixers got the big lead. Chicago started making a run back. I said, ain't no need to panic. Well, don't start panicking. Then somebody hit me up later on. Is it time to panic now, Wayne? Is it time to panic now, Wayne? Who said that?
That was me.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. And this is what y'all got to understand sometimes. I come on here. This is after us talking. We get to talking all day long or during the game and everything else. And boys say certain stuff up in here. And then all of a sudden they want to come here and act like they was all calm and know that we. And like Emil just said.
Who said I was all calm? I never come up here and say I'm calm.
This is what you said. But this is what I want to understand. You said we're a better team without Ben Simmons, right?
Other guy.
So, without the other guy. Well, with the other guy, we were a number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. So now, without the other guy, you think that we're going to be a 4th seed or a 5th seed. So how do you think we're a better team, but we're going to be? But you talked about how much better other teams were than us this year.
We talked about how we felt other teams got substantially better. I thought the move by Chicago to get DeRozan, I thought that was a great move. And they got and Miami got and they got Ball, and Miami went and got the Bull from Toronto, and and Oladipo should be coming back off the injury and all that kind of stuff. So I thought these other teams have gotten better. We was assuming about the whole Kyrie thing, and then who knows how that's going to eventually play out. Milwaukee's still strong. Atlanta, who beat us last year, they got their injured players back. So it was based off of the surrounding.
No, I get that. I get that.
And what they were looking like versus what we was looking like. And plus,
but that's the other thing. If you're talking, we had the number 1 seed, and even though the other guy's not playing, we made the other teams work. We made a good addition.
My thing is, if the other guy was playing this year, Ben, if this team the team that we had last year was this year, we would not have been number 1 seed in my opinion.
I'm gonna say this though. Let me jump in real quick because Ampuman said something real good. Yes, we were. Yes, we were number 1 team last year, but I agree with my man. Am I saying that right? Ampuman. We are a better playoff team right now than we were last year.
Get to the playoffs,
I guarantee we'll be a better playoff team this year than we were last year.
I hope. But that's more so to do. I don't think it's the subtraction of Ben is the reason why we're not as.
Yes.
I think it's the
other
addition of Niang and Drummond and the growth of Maxey. Those 3, if anything.
Will Maxey grow with Ben here?
Why not? He'll just be first.
I think what Maxey is showing us that he is right now. I think he would have been. I actually think he might have. If you have Maxey coming in off the bench, playing consistent minutes, being that first guard off the bench, I actually think Maxey would carry the bench. You bring in Maxey and Niang, and then Cork had to handle the ball as much. Now you just got Cork spotting up and shooting. I think that the bench will actually be stronger, but I don't trust the other guy's mental capacity. So I agree with y'all with that part when it comes to the playoffs because I don't trust him, and he's shown nothing to make me believe that his mental capacity has gotten better. But that's why I'm saying I'm cool with moving on from him. And I've been saying from the beginning, I wanted the Sixers to tell him sit your behind home, and I wanted them to come out and ball out in the early part of the season, and then look at him and just get him out of here. But I'm just not going to give him up for nothing. But I do like I said from the first week that I like this team. I think me and Ephraim both were talking about how Korkmaz looked better, how Maxey looked better, and how we like and Drummond.
All 3 of us was. I was saying I like this team.
I like I said, I was saying I thought they were still
the other guy to me was the problem with this team. I kept telling y'all that.
I don't think the other
I've been saying that
problem. But let me ask y'all something. Y'all think was DeMar DeRozan available for us to trade for Ben because he looks like a player.
He is.
Look like he been that bull.
I'm just saying, because he was in San Antonio, so I didn't get a chance to watch him the last couple of years. But he was
doing that. Remember the only reason why they didn't go to the championship a couple of years because LeBron was in their way. Like they took Cleveland to the limit. Several years.
It's kind of like
when they got swept, I think. But for the most part, they had a pretty solid squad, and he was balling on that joint. So
he got the same kind of game like Kawhi to me. I see the same similarities.
He liked the mid-range shot. Yeah, he a little bit more. I want to say he's a little quicker. He's probably a little quicker than Kawhi, but I do see a lot of similarities, like you're saying, like in the mid range and all that.
He don't shoot the 3 like Kawhi. Chicago
say this. He don't really shoot the 3 at all.
Range shooters. They got a lot of
3 at all. Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and I don't know how popular it is, but Cork is better than Danny Green.
Cork is better. I said that. I said that at the game 1.
I want to say
Cork should be starting. I said that
offensively, yes. Danny Green still plays excellent defense at times, though.
Danny Green,
the last couple
didn't he get yanked off of Trae Young? Didn't Trae Young cook his boots?
What, in the playoffs?
It injured him?
No,
this year, no. He's talking about last year. He said Danny Green actually played decent defense, other than like the first game.
To me, right? To me, now you can bring so much defensively and so less offensively that it makes it look like your defense really don't matter.
You know why I don't necessarily agree with that? Because and Chicago also is an excellent defense. The way they was flying around at the ball, and they was
back in the game.
In the middle, it was their defense. And the Sixers play great team defense. And this is to the point that y'all make about Ben Simmons. The way that they play team defense, and this was like with Ben, his mentality about wanting to do stuff his way, that might have hindered the team defense even more so, because you got guys now who may not be as gifted naturally as Ben Simmons is and athletically, but these dudes flying around and playing, like you said, Maxey was D'ing guys up. Seth runs around, they play a good team defense, and because when you have Embiid in the middle, they can run out on those shooters and overplay them because you have the big man back there covering. But
that's why I think Maxey, in my opinion, is just as good a defender as Ben, because I don't think Ben is gifted athletic. I think Ben is gifted height-wise. He's 6'10". That's a blessing.
Not every 6'10" player moves like him.
He is a. I agree with that. I agree with that too. But he is just a solid, average athlete in the NBA. Maxey is, in my opinion, way more athletic than Ben. That's why Maxey was strapped on not D Rose. What's the other? What's his name? Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, like he was, but. Getting back to Danny real quick, Danny to me, his defense ain't like it used to be. You see how Danny he walk like Bill Cosby. It seemed after the play, he be like the stiff back. So I be like, no, boy, you done.
So who you starting me? So who you want to start over?
I'm starting Cork.
Cork or Matisse?
Maybe Matisse, but I want to see Matisse get his offensive game up a little bit more.
He ain't do bad today either. He had 2 for 3, I think.
He was all over the floor tonight.
Remember how y'all remember we was debating if Matisse was athletic? Like when I was saying how he was gifted athletically.
No, we wasn't debating he was athletic. We debated.
I thought he was an athletic phenomenon.
That's what it was. I think the degree of athleticism. You said something to the level that he was like a freak athlete. That's what it was. You said he was a freak athlete.
You don't think that he is, the way that he get those blocks and steals, and then
it don't translate. Why doesn't it translate offensively?
Because he might not have the coordination offensively, but I think athletically, like the way that he can move and spring and jump and reach and shift his body, I think he's very athletic.
He got quick twitch muscles. He
twitch. He does. Let me say this. Right? Let me say this. The boy Brandon Stokes said something. He said he haven't seen the defense drop off that people expected either.
I agree.
That's because, and I say this.
No,
hold on. I'm gonna say my reason why it didn't drop off. As people thought, because you have the big guy shot blockers in the middle with Joel and with Drummond. If you missing, guess you know who got your back. That's why I think Joel is so important defensively. Even with Ben, he actually made Ben look better. Like he made Ben look better because if you get past Ben, you still got to get past Joel.
But I get what you're saying with that, but I also do think that because of Ben's length and his quickness, you can disrupt passing lanes and disrupt defenses. But that being said, I think our defense is better. If you look at the individuals, you look at Korkmaz, you look at Maxey, you even look at Seth. Like they really put everything into that, and they're playing a great team defensive game. If you look at the way that they rotate around, like they flying around the ball, and I think part of that lends to the fact that you have a decent bench, so these guys can exert. That's even like with Chicago. I think because Chicago has solid players coming off the bench. When you have a deep enough bench, you can expound your energy on defense and offense, knowing that your bench can come in and hold you down so you can rest up.
I agree. I mean, I want to make 2 points. Go ahead, Tim. My fault. Go ahead.
Y'all not trying to get aboard Ben his spots as far as defensively. If you notice, when he played defense, he never got tired like Ben. All of a sudden, Embiid looked like he was tired the entire.
Embiid out of shape. Embiid is out of shape.
You see him? He was holding his knees the entire game.
All game. Yep.
I'm like, it was like 2 times up the court, and all of a sudden he's holding his knees and like almost.
I think whenever his knee hurt, he stops running on the treadmill. B got to run on the treadmill all season. He can't like take nights off. He got to be on the treadmill, power walking or something. And I think whenever he get any nick or injury, he don't work out at all.
Listen, he's a big man. He's a big man. This is what they're gonna go through. I mean, look at most of the career big men who play in the NBA. And this is why, remember, we will always say I'll give Ethan credit because he would say it first that his career lifespan basketball is closing in fast. You look at dudes, what was the bull play for Houston? Yao Ming and all them. Like them big dudes like that, they going to eventually start running the knee problems, shin problems, back problems, the whole kit and caboodle. So
he came into the league that way.
I mean,
No, but he's big. Like Ephraim said, like Elijah Wan was a big man, but he wasn't big like B.
he a big dude. He a big dude. So
I mean,
that's going.
Shaq might be the one big man that ain't really have them type
That's
of injuries.
true.
Like,
He was
built different,
Shaq was a freak of nature.
Shaq
Shaq
definitely
built in the lab.
That's my dude, bro.
He's a freak of nature. But I mean, I'm here. I see a couple comments about giving Doc props for coaching. He's doing a good job. I think he almost played himself. If we'd have lost this game, to me, it'd have been on Doc because we was up like 7, and he let them come within 2 before he finally called a timeout. I thought he should have been called that timeout. They ran off a couple buckets, and our offense looked completely stagnant. He finally calls a timeout when we get down by 2, and he draws the play up for Seth, and then Seth came up huge and hit the big jump shot, and then it was pretty much a wrap from there. But I think he could have been cut that off at the pass if he'd have called a timeout and ran the offensive play. But, I mean, you can't argue with a win too much. So I got to still give him props for coaching. At what we 6-2 now, I think the record is 6-2.
Yeah. You got to get the coaches their props for having this team. Because
you got guys that's willing to be coached.
I agree.
You got Maxie is willing to be, all these Yang is willing to be coached. Doc One, you got guys willing to be coached.
Like they was.
You know what? Also,
no, they wasn't. No, they wasn't.
Like they were.
You know what? Also, well, first of all, they wasn't able to have. That's why I said, in my opinion, we had a real off season. Doc didn't have a real off season last year. Yeah, he came in. We had to shorten the season because of the bubble. Remember, it was a short season. He really didn't get to work with Maxie as much. He didn't really get to work with Cork in the preseason, all that type stuff. So now this season, in the off season, they get to really implement their system more. And like to Ethan's point, I agree. You got players that's willing to buy in and do exactly what the coaching staff is telling them. Whereas though before you had one dude that felt like the coach kind of had to coach around him and fit everybody else into his circle, whereas though now everybody's willing to buy in and do exactly what we need. And if he's not going to be MVP this year, he's not going to have those numbers. I don't care if we're better.
Seth going to win. Nah, but on some real,
not coming back.
Phil, yeah, he's not coming back. Phil W, I got to disagree with you. This is what I got to see. First of all, he said that Ben is, I guess, best defensive player in the league. He played all 5 positions. When have you ever seen Ben shut down a good center or even really play well against a good center? I haven't seen that. He don't play really all 5 positions like that. The best defender in the league, in my opinion, the best.
Last year he did.
Stop! I said a good center.
He was the best player.
He's a defensive player. The dude from Utah, what's his name? Is just a defensive player. He's not. He scores what, 12 points a game or something like that. Come on, bro, go Bear. So my thing is, this is my thing. I think Draymond, I said this before, is the best defensive player in the league. But everybody keeps trying to compare. Phil did it again. He said Ben is LeBron without a jump shot. He's nowhere near as athletic or coordinated as LeBron James. They're not even on the same level. Even if Ben did get a solid jump shot, he will still never be LeBron. He will never be.
He doesn't even attack the rim like LeBron. LeBron attacks the rim.
LeBron probably got a 40-inch vertical.
Young LeBron is attacking everybody in the paint.
The best Ben Simmons will be is Lamar Odom.
I agree. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
First of all, Ben got bad knees like that. But but another thing that we do have to consider, and we've talked about this numerous times, the rule changes in the NBA favors a team like the Sixers because it allows you to play basketball more, even though it doesn't necessarily favor Embiid as much on his offensive game, but on the defensive end, they allow you. That's even like it was a one play in there when Ball was driving. And he was trying to drive, and I think it was it Niang or I can't remember who it was playing defense on him. In fact, it was Cork, and Cork was like trying to pull up, and Ball like tried to back up into him to cause the contact, and they called offensive foul on him. Like they're actually evening out the calls now, where they're calling like they're not automatically giving it to the offense now. So I think that the Sixers. Offensively, but defensively, that allows them to be even more physical, and the Sixers have a team big enough to be that way.
So is this revenue neutral?
Let me ask y'all something. Have y'all heard about this? Is this true with this new NBA ball that they're using? That's causing players a lot of problems with shooting. Y'all, anybody heard about this?
I didn't hear about it. What did you hear about?
I know it ain't bothering Seth
or Steph. or Steph.
It ain't bothering everybody. I
Maybe
think
they
the
got it
call
earlier.
bothered them more than the Rock.
Maybe they got it earlier in the offseason, was able to practice with it.
I don't even think it's bothering Dame want to come to Philly, bro. I'm telling you, Dame want to come to Philly.
Somebody was in the comment section earlier. Portland lost again. I didn't know that, but they said they lost.
You can read it on Dame's body.
Dame messed his team up.
And who
this team? Heck no.
Why
Heck
no.
Dame to me, listen, I like Dame, but he takes so many. Dame takes more.
Yeah, Emo, you're right. Go ahead.
He takes more what?
Layups. I like Dame though.
But Dame can take and listen, Doc don't have a problem. Look at what'd you say?
Somebody said Ben started the rumor. Yeah, somebody said PG. That's what I seen. I seen PG3 talking about the Wilson ball, and he said you're gonna see a lot of guys missing a lot of shots, make a lot of air balls. He said it's not as soft as the old ball they used to use.
Really? I wonder what the change was.
I'll send y'all the link.
Hey, Sergeant Bass. No, Ben ain't George Lynch. George Lynch had a nice mid-range jump shot. He's not George Lynch.
Did. He's more athletic than George
Lynch. George Lynch used to kill it in college too for North Carolina.
Lynch was that ball for North Carolina. He upset that Michigan team I love so much, man, and lost in the championship. I hate
the Blazers. Listen, I honestly, and we touched on it the last game when we played the Blazers. I've been saying this from the off season. I think in harmony what Ethan's been saying all this time, that Dame doesn't have the intestinal fortitude in him to leave and quit on Portland. It's going to be up to the Portland management to look and see what the situation. Dame has already expressed to them that he's not happy, but Dame's not going to bail on them and the fans. Dame already said he's not happy with the director. He didn't. Chauncey wasn't his choice as a coach, and he hasn't felt like the team put enough talent around him. So Dame wants to go, but it's up to the Portland ownership to say, you know what, you did good by us. We need to rebuild. We're going to send you somewhere where you have a chance to win, and we get something back.
They going to want our young players, man. They going to want the Maxis. They might want Yang.
Who are you willing to give them?
I'm giving up Maxey in a heart. If you tell me I got to give up Maxey and Ben and a first-round draft pick to get Dame, I'm doing it in a heartbeat.
No, because this could be 2001 all over again.
I'm doing it in a heartbeat. If you tell me Dame Lillard,
and we was just a 500 team. Are you
Dame Lillard?
You think we just going to? If we bring in Dame and we still got Seth and we still got Tobias and we still got Bede,
again, you're keeping all the players that you want to keep. What
you said.
To get Dame Lillard, we're going to have to give up some key pieces.
You said we're going to have to give up young players, right? You said we're going to have to give up young players.
We're going to get. No, I said we're going.
What young player did I name? Embiid's not young. Embiid not young. Seth's not young. Tobias not young. That I'm telling you, that if you got to give up Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey, and I mean, you might have to throw a cork in there or something. But if you tell me you're giving me Dame Lillard and they're going to give you something else with Dame, but you probably won't even have to give up a third player, you're probably going to want a draft pick. So I think you could pull it off and get Dame in here and still be, no matter what. If you tell me you got Tobias, Bede, Seth, and Dame, you fill in the other pieces.
Now listen, they're making good points. With Dame and Bede, we got about 2 to 3 years to win a chip. Because Dame's 31. Both of them older. Well, Dame's older. Bede play like he older.
31 is not old in this league now.
I mean, we see Curry doing that 33. Curry lighting it up.
Yeah, Curry 33. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but we're not even just talking about Dame. We talk about Bede too.
I don't see that. My concern is always going to be Bede's selfishness and willingness to share the ball.
So was he sharing the ball tonight?
Listen, did
he share the ball tonight?
Listen to this. He made a joke with Niang the other night after they started chanting MVP. And then he said, what did Joel say to him? He said, don't let that happen again. He was serious. He was serious joking.
Who told you that?
Niang.
That's Tim with the narrative. He loves the most selfish dude on this roster.
What did you just say? He said, what happened now? Who said what now?
Niang he balled out last game. He had like 21 points. The crowd was chanting his MVP.
Oh, okay.
When he got back in the locker room, Joel was like, "Yeah, don't let that happen again." Joking.
Bro, Embiid ain't even play last game. Stop. There ain't no way in the world he was
there.
He was joking because how you going to stop him? How you going to stop the crowd from chanting MVP on him? Like
Embiid ain't even playing. Like, come on.
Yang ball now. What is Niang's position? Can he start over Danny Green? No, we probably need that.
He probably
I
play
think
more of a
he's
forward.
powerful.
Yeah, he play more of a power like
So
coming
we
off
can
the bench
trade
behind
Toby.
So we
He's
get
a
rid of
point
Toby
guard.
for Niang. Niang actually hustling. Truth be told, he
Wait,
actually hustled.
wait. Why would you? Why? See, y'all just talking about trade. Why y'all talking about
trading people just to trade them?
Yeah, why y'all talking about trading people just to trade them?
That's
we
what
need
we
a point
do.
guard, remember? You keep screaming, we need a point guard. We need a point guard, remember?
And I just told you what we do. And guess what?
We trying to put a package to GMs. We trying to
Ben, Maxey, and Korkmaz. I give up all three of them if you bring me game in.
Be honest, I don't think nobody want Ben.
Nobody don't. They don't.
They do.
They don't.
They do. They just don't want them at that price. They do want them. They do. They will take.
Hey, y'all give us some love. Hit that like, hit them thumbs up button so we get them.
They don't want Ben. Nobody wants you no
I
more.
Everybody that's back here over my dead body.
What you
say? I don't want no
wherever he's at.
Who, Ben?
Covington.
Oh yeah, I don't know Covington.
I mean, if you package it in with Dame, I take him off my bench playing defense. Look good, Covington or Danny Green.
Yo, Emo loves some Covington. He loves some Covington. Covington is trash.
Covington take a shot at John Wall.
Covington is trash.
Why y'all want John
But see,
Wall?
if I get John Wall, I'm not giving up nothing. I'm not giving up Maxey. I'm not giving. If I'm
giving up
John Wall, it's Ben and John Wall straight up. I'll do it. I would do it.
Yeah.
I don't need no John Wall.
I would do that. Ben ain't doing nothing right now.
Ben's not playing. He's not going to play.
If you instead of trading for John Wall, I would just rather get Isaiah Thomas off the street and let him play.
Ben, you know how Dame 10 toes down in Portland? Ben is 10 toes down on that psychiatrist's couch. He said he's not
laying down, so he's not 10 toes down. He's chilling.
Whatever he is, he gonna rub his head on that bed so much he's gonna have a little ball spot in his jaw like LeBron when he come back.
Hey Brandon, tell him again for the
coming back.
Tell him again for the people in the back.
He will not.
The boy Lane Johnson skipped town for 4 weeks.
Hold on. We not talking about listen, Tim, hold on.
He left in the middle of a game.
Tim, hold on. This is totally different.
Lane Johnson was at the pre
Man, I don't care about Lane Johnson. We talking about the Sixers.
We
talking about the Sixers.
The sport left his team hanging for 4 weeks. Come back and everybody like, yo, we love you, Lane.
Lane Johnson went.
You know why? Because Lane Johnson actually balled in the playoffs.
What does that have to do with Ben Simmons?
Abuser. He is a crack addict.
Explain to me, how does that relate to Ben Simmons? Tie the two in.
Because they both suffer from mental illness, but one section of people have mercy for him.
What section of people? What section of people?
Y'all got for Lane Johnson. Y'all like
us? I got Melanie. Tell us what you really saying.
Tim, listen.
Let me expose you.
Tim,
you know exactly what you.
Tim, the two have nothing. The two have nothing to do.
They both suffer from
the two have zero to do with each other.
Lane Johnson,
no, for real. All right, but
Ben said he will not. Ben said he will not work out with any of the Sixers staff or no.
Yes.
He don't want the Sixers near him at all. He's refusing all help from the Sixers organization.
That's not true.
It is true.
He's seeing a doctor from the Players Union. Why he need to see 2 sets of doctors?
Okay. Okay. So you're telling me you don't want to see nothing you don't want nothing to do with the organization. We just talked about how everybody on this roster is in tune as an organization. It's a unit. Now you talking about this one dude that don't want no parts of the organization.
See, I don't want to get to Ben Simmons. He always turns into Ben Simmons. All the time.
But no, listen, honestly, it's a few people here saying, like they said, Ben Simmons, like y'all make it like Ben Simmons has zero value. Nobody wants him. Teams want him. They just don't want to pay the value. They don't want to pay that for him. They do want him.
Sergeant Bass said, because Lane ain't afraid to block. That's why everybody ain't. Everybody ain't going off.
And Lane ain't afraid to.
He ain't afraid to shoot either. He ain't afraid to shoot either.
Use or Adderall or use every drug.
Whatever helps him block.
Maybe Ben said. What do they use for AD?
The bottom line is
Ben need that.
The bottom line is Ben is capping. Ben capping. And he's going to use this mental thing as a way to get paid. and sit there until he gets traded. He don't want to play. It's a clause in the CBA, and he found a little loophole, and he gonna milk it. And I told y'all this. I told y'all this.
Any man that plays basketball and don't shoot the ball, the best part of basketball is shooting, and he refused to do it. That's a mental block.
And that's what you want on your team? Why do you want that on your team?
Basketball is shooting for 99% of the population. He won't do it.
No, it's
then why do you want that? Then why do you want that on your team? If that's what he is, why do you want that?
No, I'm just saying, with y'all, you're not showing no compassion for the man.
No, the bottom line is it's honestly some dudes. I remember every now and then I watch videos from RDC World. They kind of funny, but they had one and they was talking about the basketball player who likes to pass too much. And every time he went to the hole, right before he got to the hole, he had a wobble layup and he'd do a little freaky pass or something. This is what Ben do. Ben always been like that. He likes to pass. He never made the proper balance in his game. And he always felt he was successful playing like this. This what got him paid. This what got him $100 million from the Sixers. So he cool with playing like that. And he's stubborn enough to think he don't need to change. It ain't that he's necessarily scared to shoot. Some of that might be true too. But I think he's stubborn enough and arrogant enough to feel I don't need to change. I got in the NBA like this. I made it big like this. I'm good.
Tim getting roasted in the comments.
10 years, because he should be. Thank y'all.
Ben is Australian. They said they told us to cut his camera off.
I'm gonna block some of y'all boys too.
No, listen, man. Let's be honest. And like I said, I politic for Ben because I do think Ben has value on the court. But if he's so ready to check out, see, this is my thing. If he has mental issues,
somebody said trade Ben and Tim.
The Sixers are trying to acquiesce to Ben. They like, what do you need, Ben? They even went as far as to say he's our. He was turning all of them down. He was flagging them to their face. He was flagging them to their face, but they still said he's our brother. Like don't boo Ben. He's our brother. Give him time. Give him space. All this, and Ben still like, I don't want no parts of y'all. Like, kick rocks. I'm tired of this dude. Right. You're too old for that dumb stuff.
The team itself. What I will say is, I like this team the way it is right now. They're fun to watch. I enjoy watching it. I don't miss Ben, but what I will say is he will make the team better, and I'm not just trading him for nothing else. I'm not going to just trade him for anything. If I'm going to trade him, it's going to be for a real player.
Anything first of all, nobody. Stop saying it. You were waiting, keep saying it. Ain't nobody trading nobody for nothing. You're going to get some value, whether it's a draft pick, whether it's another player. You're going to get something. Draft picks. But
the draft picks. This is my only part though, Ephraim. I want something that's going to help us now. I don't want a draft pick that's going to be
a draft pick, and you can add a draft pick later on the trade. You could, let's say you got 2-3 draft picks for Ben. You could package them up and still trade them for Bill or trade them for Dame with a team that's tanking and looking for draft picks. So anything you get, you're going to use it to build your team either now or in the future. So stop with all this for nothing. For nothing is saying I give them away and you don't got to give me nothing. That ain't going to happen.
But that's basically
something for them.
But that's basically what y'all say. Trade them for nothing. Trade them for anything. I just don't want to give them for what.
I never said that. Y'all keep saying we said that. I joked around and said that like once or twice on the pod. But for the most part, we know we're going to get value. I said get yourself a solid player that can help you win now, or some draft picks that you can package together and get somebody better.
But my point is always that I
won an NBA champion.
Y'all just secretly don't want to let him go. Y'all want to hold on to this. Y'all want to hold on to the bench. You and Tim want to hold on to him.
I already told you I don't want him here. And
my whole saying you don't, but your heart is saying you do. I can see it in your eyes.
How? I didn't told you from the beginning. I would rather see him rock on the sideline because he's so stubborn. I'd rather see him rock and we win without him.
Why still want to see? Why?
Because you want to see him. Because y'all just want to see him. Y'all want to look into his eyes and see him sitting inside. I have no. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's getting strange. You and Tim want to see the ball just sitting in the Sixers jersey. Get him out of here.
I don't, but I'm not just trading. I'm not just going to trade him for nothing. I will say
you're not going to stop saying that. Y'all keep saying that
because I'm not. But if you're telling me, and I even say, listen, I even know you're not going to get a superstar for him. But mind you, everything I'm saying is I'm willing to trade some of our. I think Korkmaz has built up his value. I think Maxey's built up his value. So if you're telling me Ben Simmons, Maxey, and Korkmaz can bring me Dame Lillard, I'm taking Dame Lillard or Bradley Beal. But I don't think Bradley Beal's coming no time soon. Because
the problem is y'all keep shooting for superstars with Ben's bringing you. In all reality, Ben by himself is not going to bring you that.
But where did I say Ben by himself though?
But nobody said Ben by himself. We saying we'll package like two or three first-round picks.
I don't want to do that. Well, listen, okay, let's do that. If we could do Ben and draft picks, I would do it. But I really don't want to give up no part of this team. This team is rolling right now.
So who are you bringing in with Ben Simmons that's going to make this team needs a real point guard that's ready now. Maxey's not ready.
Bring a John Wall.
Oh, but I agree with you. If you tell me I could just trade, if I could trade Ben for John Wall straight up, I'm taking that in a heartbeat.
Y'all would make terrible GMs.
I'm taking that in a heartbeat. Ben for John Wall.
You're fired.
I am too.
John Wall's not even playing right now.
Neither is Ben.
But Ben Simmons.
So are you. Because your love for Ben is very sick.
It is. It's getting borderline disturbing. It's worse than me like a Steph Curry. It's very bizarre.
It's sickening. You know how many updates we get per night of what Seth is doing?
Hey, listen,
he's playing and balling.
Listen, everybody that's telling me I'm tripping about trade. Listen, this is what you got to look at. Even if we trade Max, if you're telling me you got to put Maxey in the trade to bring in a player the caliber of Dame Lillard, and you have Dame Lillard for a few years, guess what? Maxey will be a free agent in a couple years. So if you love Maxey that much, you can go back and get him after you've had a chance to win chips with Embiid and Dame and Seth and Tobias. I don't see. Sometimes you got to give something to get. You got to give something to get something.
Why would Maxey give about 25, 30 million just to come back to Philadelphia?
Who's to say he would give that up if the Sixers going to pay him that as a free agent? Who's to say the Sixers?
Because the home team always get more money. That's what it's a clause.
And guess what? And so people don't ever leave the home team. People don't do signing trades. Didn't Jimmy do a signing trade?
He forced that trade. Jimmy forced his way out.
But he did a sign and trade though, right? Don't do sign and trades all the time. So you're not telling me if Maxey really loved Philly like that and he understands the situation and he's progressing and the Sixers like, yo, we want to bring you back. We want to say, and Maxey want to come back here, they can bring him back.
Why?
So you talking about trading Maxey and bringing him back?
No, I'm saying if you're telling me trading.
You create a scenario that's very.
If you're telling me that trading Maxey is going to bring Dame Lillard in, you're out your mind if you're not going to take Dame Lillard over Maxey right now.
A picture that never happens.
Yeah, you're out of your mind if you're not taking Dame Lillard over Maxey. You're out your mind.
No, I'm not saying that.
Well, that's what the whole thing I'm saying. I'm trading Maxey if I could get Dame Lillard. Yes.
Somebody said Tim got Ben on speakerphone right now. He do. Tim is in love with he's in love with the salt. See, for somehow he's like a lot of these GMs and stuff like that think they see a dude, and they see the hype, they see the solid athleticism.
He said Bennett Tim's year.
I'm telling you, he's enamored with the possibility of this LeBron 2.0, and he can't get it out of his mind. The fact of the matter is, Tim is over. He's not going to be LeBron. I don't care how much jump shots you see him shooting in these videos. It ain't happening. It's going. Give it up. Let it go.
Yo, JM, you out of pocket.
Somebody said I couldn't go back and find the thing, but they said Wayne don't care about our bench. Wayne does. Hold on.
I do care about our bench.
Wayne does care about depth, but in order to get something, you do have to give up some depth, and I don't want to do that. Our bench is a big reason we won this game.
No, I agree, but
and Reed, Shake Reed Bennett like 2 draft picks. That should be enough to get it done.
No, listen, preferably I don't want to give. I like Korkmaz. I like Maxey, so I would preferably rather not give them up. But in all honesty, Korkmaz is a key point. He can be traded because you got Korkmaz, a decent player at a low, like his pay is low. Korkmaz is getting peanuts because he wanted to stay here, and I don't want to trade Cork. I think he's finally playing to get under a good coach that had time to coach him up, and you're seeing him the best that he's ever been. But that being said, if you're telling me you're bringing a player the caliber of Dame Lillard. And I'm not talking about trading Seth, and I'm not talking about trading Toby, and I'm not talking about trading Niang. I'm not talking about any of these dudes, but I'm telling you, if you're talking about trading a couple of pieces along with Ben to bring in a Dame Lillard, you telling me you can't fill in other roster spots like bench dudes to come in with trades down the line by the deadline? Come on, bro.
No, I absolutely. Listen, I think we had this conversation about Maxey before, and Wayne, I think you was on the opposite end of the conversation. When me and Ethan said we don't think that Maxey will ever reach the potential of Dame. And in all fairness, I think you were saying you don't know yet or something like that. We got to see. But I don't see that in his game, him reaching that level of greatness. So if you got a chance to trade a bull like Maxey, and I think he's going to be a very solid NBA player, but if you got a chance to trade Maxey for Dame, you got to do it. I absolutely agree with you. There's no way I'm not doing that.
But Chauncey Billups is a big fan of him. He actually gave him a shout out after the game, talking about what he's seeing him and some things he could work on. So he does like him. So if we trade Ben, Maxey probably will be included in that trade.
I hope not. I know Maxey likes Philly. When Maxey thought he was possibly getting traded last year, he was low key upset about it. Him and his family, like his parents like Philly too, from what I understand. So I mean, and they like him here.
Before we get out of here, just give me your opinion on the Chicago Bulls real quick.
What you mean? What do you think they're going to end the season?
Hey Phil, I would take Sexton. If you tell me Sexton for Ben Simmons right now, I do. If you tell me just Sexton for Ben Simmons, I'd do that.
I think the Bulls, to me, they top heavy. Remember how the Sixers was top heavy when we had the big three with who was it? Jimmy, Ben, Embiid, and really no bench. To me, that's how the Bulls are. They top heavy.
They are a little top heavy. I agree.
The Bulls bench actually was kind of. They got Timbo on there. He actually was in there causing problems in the middle. Tony Bradley was in the middle causing problems.
You don't like Caruso?
No, I don't like Caruso at all.
I mean, he's solid, but
he's overrated to me.
Yeah, he's overhyped.
All right.
I don't know who was the other young boy. He had like junior. I was trying to see his name. It's something junior.
Somebody asked about Brandon Ingram. Would y'all go after Brandon Ingram?
I love Brandon Ingram game.
What position does he play?
He can play like a small forward.
He's like a KD kind of like.
He's KD light. KD light.
Yeah, but you have to get him for like Toby or something.
Not really. If you
still
see, I agree. I would like a point, but if you tell me
Zion looking like Reggie White, year 12.
That's y'all do. Remember y'all was hype on Zion over, and I kept saying Ja Morant was my dude. Zion.
No. I was one of the first Bulls to say that Ja was going to be one of the next up and coming Bulls. We talked about.
Remember we were talking about rookie of the year. It was somebody I was arguing with when I was saying Ja Morant was that Bull. Somebody was like Zion.
I mean, Ethan was more hype on Zion.
It was. No, when Zion came out, it was to argue about Zion. Or who was he playing with? RJ?
I'm not talking. No, you talking about. No, but I'm talking about when we was talking about who was going to be rookie of the year, and I was talking about how Ja Morant was that bull and was balling, and then we was having discussions about if Zion should be rookie of the year, if Zion was the best player.
But at that time, though, we talking about Zion. Post cheeseburger and post COVID Zion, we obviously gained a lot of weight.
Zion been cheeseburger dude.
No, he was never as big. You see how big he look now? He probably went from 300 to about 360. He looked like a tall Tim.
He about to be point center.
My bad, Tim. My bad.
So he looked like Andre Miller. Oliver Miller. He looked like Oliver Miller,
bro.
Oliver Miller, right?
It looked like he put on at least about 30 pounds extra pound. He looked big, bro.
That would be a concern to me. I'm not giving him big time. It seemed like anytime he's off at any point, like we mess around about Joel Embiid and how he get out of shape when he's down with an injury. Zion turns it into a whole. He what's that show, the 600-pound challenge or whatever they're doing. My 600-pound life. That's what Zion turned into anytime he off the court for like more than a week.
Yeah, I agree. It's disturbing how big that dude looked, man. He going. Somebody said in the comments he's going to eat himself out the league, and that's exactly what he's going to do. There's no way, because first of all, he's so explosive as an athlete. There's no way him keep coming down after jumping 36, 40 inches in the air, and he not going to eventually hurt his ankles, his knees, his back. I hope somebody getting his air about eating right, and maybe get him a little Tom Brady diet. Tom Brady got that everlasting life diet that he that he eating. I don't know what he's doing, but Zion needs to get on that. Some leafy vegetables or something. He tripping.
I don't know, but
well, Barkley actually was giving them tips. If Barkley giving you weight loss tips, you know.
No. Honestly, though, Barkley is the perfect person to talk to him about it because Barkley was the round mound to grab rebound. When he came in the league, Barkley was an overweight boy that just had athletics. That's why I said Zion reminds me of Barkley. And Barkley used to
Malone actually told him the reason why you're not playing because your fat behind is overweight.
Really?
Yeah. He tell that story over and over again every time.
Yeah.
It's the same story. But he said that he and Billy Cunningham wouldn't play him. And he said, I don't care if they trade everybody. I'm still not playing you until you get your behind in shape. And he actually got himself in shape, and the rest is history.
That's what he do with Zion, because Zion going to hurt himself. He might hurt himself to the point where he caused a catastrophic injury all that weight. So it will be in his best interest or in the team's best interest to do that to that boy until he come down.
He might just need to hire a chef.
Man, that boy was so fat in college, he busted his sneakers open. I ain't trying. Listen,
he wasn't that fat. He was actually pretty solid. He was solid. He probably still need to slim down, but now it looked like he had a big section.
That was a telling sign. You know how sometimes when they tell you look at if you're looking for a potential mate, and you look at the ankles.
Yeah, that's true.
His feet was busting through those sneaks. He was.
That let you know everything you need to know where it was heading now.
But
his future was doomed. Definitely.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna be back here tomorrow, right after the game. We played not the Pelicans. We played Detroit again. We on the road. So we'll be back. It'll probably be me and Wayne, but we'll be back.
Yeah, Embiid ain't gonna play tomorrow. I can tell you that right
now. Yeah, Embiid ain't playing tomorrow. He probably need at least a week off.
Yeah,
he ain't getting a week off because we played Chicago again Saturday. He's playing Saturday.
Hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit us on all of our social media. Thanks for listening.
Deuces.
Peace.